What up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to the JRose Experience. I'm your host, JRose. Today's episode, we're gonna dive into why do people give up their dreams? Okay, we're gonna talk to some really dope creatives and talk about what they do to avoid falling into that rabbit hole. And we're gonna get some really good insight on how to stay inspired and motivated. Of course, we're gonna play off the top our random improv game. And on our guest list today, we have Matt Capone from DC and Yonte The SemiGod from the Virgin Islands. Stay tuned so you could get a chance to meet these amazing creatives. And don't forget, guys, keep growing. Welcome back to the JRose Experience. I am your host, JRose, and I'd like to introduce to you my guest on today's show. His name is Matt Capone. He's a writer and a poet from DC. He has a really dope album out called Talk Your Shit, and it's a combination of spoken word with 90s and 2000s R&B vibes. So please give a warm welcome to Matt Capone. Hey. Thanks for coming out all the way from DC, crossing state lines to come onto the show. I appreciate it.
Already.
How was the drive?
I mean, I went to sleep. So
Okay, well that made it easy.
Stayed up all night so I could sleep all day.
Nice. Oh, I'm glad you made it. So the last time I saw you was when I did this like random road trip to DC. I literally woke up and was like, there's a show in DC and our friend Sam Azul was featuring out there, and I was like, I gotta go support Matt, I gotta support Sam. And I drove to DC, literally 3 hours, went to the show. You gave me the chance to perform, so thank you. And then got in my car and drove back home to New York. And people were like, that's crazy, but that's the type of stuff I do, especially when two people that are so amazing in the creative community are doing something together. I had to make it out there. So you were hosting for Bus Boys and Poets, which is a pretty big platform out in the DMV area. So how did you get that gig to become a host for that platform?
A lot of grinding. I've actually only been doing spoken word as far as performing for 2 years. So like, my first year, I was just going to an open mic every day. Every day I was performing. Every day I was trying to get my content out there. And I think I caught their eye because like I had started my own event, which was called Trap Poetry.
I wanted to touch on, I know you say you just started doing spoken word poetry, like performing, but you really hit the stage at a very early age. So I remember you telling me that your first time performing was when you were 10 years old?
Yep.
Is that right?
I was 10 years old. Yep.
Were you writing like before that?
Yeah, I've been writing since I was like 7 years old.
What were you writing at 7 years old?
I don't know. I can't even recall, but I think like my inspiration came from Dr. Seuss books.
Really?
Yeah, most definitely. Like, soon as I found out rhyming was a thing, it's like I just always wanted to rhyme.
Really?
So it went from writing music to writing poetry and so on and so on. I like putting words together.
So when you performed at an open mic at 10 years old, what was that like? How did you even like fester the bravery? Because as a 10-year-old, I'd be like terrified to go on stage. So
it was like I've always been a little bit confident or sure of myself, and I was able to block out what people thought about me. It's like, it was like in front of kids and adults, but I feel like what I'm talking about, these kids can probably understand. So as long as I captivate these kids, I'm cool.
So what do you remember what your poem was about?
Nope, I can't. I'm not even gonna sit right here and lie to you.
Really? I wish we lived in a time back then where it could have been like recorded.
Yeah.
Did anybody in your family, was anybody there?
Yeah, my mom was there.
Your mom was there? Was she like glowing?
Yeah, my mother, she's like extra proud of me because she's seen my, my dedication, my elevation, everything that, I'm saying, I've been through to get to the point where I'm at right now. So, and still working, so she's definitely proud of me.
What's one of the biggest challenges that you faced that kind of affected your creativity?
Being incarcerated.
Yeah.
Being incarcerated.
Well, how long were you away?
I was away for 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah, 3 years.
Did you do a lot of writing there?
I did. I wrote every day.
Really?
I wrote every day. I wrote for some people. I did a lot of writing every day.
So you were hustling poems?
Yeah, most
yeah?
definitely.
Oh,
Most definitely.
I'm sure a lot of what they were like asking you to write letters for their loved ones.
Right. They were like, man, look, write my girl a letter or whatever the case is. Look, I give you some commissary. Or
Yeah.
Like, oh, I bet.
That's pretty dope. At least you can try to make the best of your time.
Most definitely.
So what has been something that drove you to continue pursuing this writing after going through so much? Like, what kept you from like giving up?
My passion. It's like, when art or poetry just in general is your passion, everything else is easy that comes with it.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like it's my purpose. So when it's your purpose, it's like it's easy.
I love when people talk about their purpose because I'm a firm believer. Once you make a decision to pursue your purpose, the universe just helps you manifest that because you're in the right path.
Fact.
So, talk your shit. Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about that.
So, it's a mixtape. It's combined with 7 songs.
Okay.
And basically each song is about a significant other that I've had relationship with, and the impact that they had on my life.
Yeah.
And just what you go through in any relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So basically each song is about a different one.
And what was the creative process behind that? Like, how did you decide what beats to put together with like what words?
Well, depending on what happened in the relationship, that's what I would speak. You know what I'm saying? Speak towards. Like I'll have something like the first song on it is called "Maybe I Don't Deserve," and that's over like the tank. Maybe I deserve that. So
okay.
I was basically, something in contrast towards what he was actually talking about, and how do I relate to it to this particular individual.
Yeah. So it was like each track was like the soundtrack to the. Is it poetry or
It's
are you
poetry.
like?
It's poetry.
Is it bars?
It's all that.
Yeah.
It's all that. It's
Yeah.
bars, poetry, spoken word. It's all that. It's different. It's original. So as far as the words and the poems are original, and I just wanted to do something different that I knew or I felt at that time wasn't nobody else doing. So.
Are there any chances of like a book coming out? Because you've had an interesting life. It's very book worthy.
So right now, I have a manager. Me and my manager are talking and putting things into play for 2021. But I have a website coming in the day of my birthday, which is February the 14th.
Oh, Valentine's Day, baby.
Ironically. But yeah, like we're gonna have a podcast basically built towards just promoting the book for next year.
Is the book gonna be like about your life, or is it gonna be just like poetry? Like,
so it's gonna be a biography about my love life, and basically at the end of every chapter is gonna be a poem, basically parallel to what I talked about in the chapters.
Really?
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
Ooh, I love the concept. I'm looking forward. Do you have like a title in mind, or it's still early?
I do, but
All right. We're gonna keep it secret. I'll ask when the camera's turned off. I won't tell though. I promise.
Gotcha.
So you ready to give us a little taste of Matt Capone?
Easy work.
All right, cool. We'll be right back with some poetry from Matt Capone. See you soon.
I left on red because I didn't want to be bothered. It's like we had sex that one time and now for some reason it's like everything is awkward. It's like her vibe doesn't charge my vibe and now I got a dodger. If I would have knew this woman would have been a problem, I wouldn't have fostered her feelings into my care, but for that one night of pleasure, I decided to adopt her. I guess I was thinking with the wrong head. Silly me, I must have butt my head thinking when she said she doesn't catch feelings over casual sex. That was just something she just said. I thought she really meant it. But see, my past experience tells me different. Or maybe I was just horny and my hormones was way more important than her feelings. Crazy how insecure I was. Thinking having sex with all these women made me a man, when really there's power in the word no and knowing how to control what's in my pants. I mean, I know I'm handsome. But every advancement doesn't mean I have to advance it. And would I look like romancing when really I ain't that romantic? She says, I know you do poetry, so I know you're really emotional. I seen you on social media, so I know you're real sociable, but love, if it wasn't for these poems, I wouldn't be so approachable. So what makes you think when I say I want to get to know you in my poems, I really want to know you? Like, I ain't got options. Like, you ain't got a choice. Like, you ain't conscious. I mean, you know niggas ain't shit, so you got to be cautious. Because I can tell you I don't want a relationship, and all you hear is relationship, and now we're on this jagged edge because you thought I made a promise. It wasn't always like this. I used to be the kissy kiss poo poo type. We'd Netflix and chill, but me, I was the Hulu type. We'd argue all day and I give it to you like boo you right, until her insecurities start interfering with me like I don't do you right. So now we either friends or we fucking. You want a boyfriend or a husband because she'll say she's just chilling and in reality she really wants something. She'll say she's looking for love, but in the beginning she says she wasn't, and now that I don't want a relationship is always in the discussion. She'll say little things like, I know what you said earlier, but right now your actions say something different. But love, if he says he doesn't want something serious, he meant it. The problem is you ain't listening. You falling in love with his potential when he said what he said, and what he said was intentional. You thought you could change his mind until you found out his mind was made up. You thought you could do friends with benefits until you found yourself laid up. Because them soul ties got your soul tied, and that's what you was afraid of. And now niggas ain't shit because they don't meet your expectations. So she'll say she doesn't want a relationship, just frequent dick and conversations till she finds out my sex is amazing and my words are stimulating. Then she wants something more meaningful because sex complicates it, but when the energy's not reciprocated, now I ain't shit. But the funny thing about it is we used the account to her Netflix. And we fucked the first time I came over on top of her blankets. See, she thought she could sign up with friends with benefits, but now that it's not benefiting her intentions, she mentions me in her IG story, subliminally mentioning niggas is the new bitches. But love, you control your vagina, what comes out and inside of it, and you could have told me you catch feelings when you get physical instead of lying about it, but she expects me to read her mind and make the right decision for her every time, but I'm selfish and insecure myself. You expect me to recognize it? See, this how the conversation starts. How you doing, sweetheart? I give her Drew Hill vibes, then once the beat drops, I'll make promises that once her beauty is mine, we'll never be apart. But see, that's just a finesse. Usually I don't take the time to waste my breath because usually when you bring up sex, that's when the conversation goes left, and I don't want to be right. I just want to be cordial after I caught you after one night without the repercussions of falling for you when I told you I was scared of heights. So, say what you mean and mean what you say. Because I can usher you into how I like it my way, but after I give it to you nice and slow, now you got confessions about how you want to move mountains.
Whether it's tax season, the holidays, or whatever falls in between, you want to make sure that you're being smart with your money. So go visit my girl, Queen Candace, at the Queen Blueprint to learn how to gain your financial freedom. You could get a personalized debt payoff plan, a full financial overview, and learn to repair your relationship with money. Smarter money moves are waiting for you at www.thequeenblueprint.com or call 877-387-BLUE. Use code JRose20 for 20% off of all our financial services. Welcome back to the JRose Experience. I'm still your host, JRose, and I'm here with the next guest, Yonte The SemiGod. He's a poet and a host from the Virgin Islands, and we're going to dig a little deep into some of the magical stuff that this man loves to talk about. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. It's going to be big. Let's do it. Talk to me. What you got? Talk to me.
Talk to me. All right, so let's get right to it, okay? Because when I first met you, you had a different name, all right?
Yes.
So now you have a new name, and it's Yonte
The SemiGod.
The SemiGod. So, like, what does that mean?
Okay. First of all, I mean, it's not as vain as everybody assumes it is.
Okay.
No, I do not think that I am a god, but we are all portions of the Father. So I'm just letting you know. I'm a semi. I'm a semi portion of the Father.
And what about Yonte? Where's that?
Actually, Yonte is the beginning of my middle name,
Oh,
which I will not be saying, but it is the beginning of my middle name. That's all you need to know.
I'm gonna find out. His brother's here. I'm gonna ask his brother. I'm sure he'll tell. So you recently launched your YouTube channel
Yes.
called Between the Lines, and I had the honor of being interviewed on it a couple weeks ago. Thank you for the opportunity, but tell me a little bit more about Between the Lines and what's the whole
Purpose.
Yeah.
So I started Between the Lines because I used to go to open mics and perform, and only certain people would like give me my snaps, give me my claps, and I know it's fire. But granted, a lot of things go over people's heads.
Yeah.
So Between the Lines is a space where it was for me at first, for me to explain exactly what I mean. So it's like, oh, now I get it. But then I was like, but there's a lot of people that experience that exact same thing.
Yes.
So why not come together, make this a platform where everybody who feels that exact same way could do it right here,
Oh, I love that. And it was really dope. My experience there was really nice because I was able to perform one of my staple pieces that I perform everywhere. And although I've performed it about 1,000 times and everyone's seen it, it was really nice to like sit with you and really dissect my thought process behind every line. And it made me realize like even I don't even analyze my stuff as much as I should. And it felt good because I read between the lines and I was like, wow, some deep shit.
No, it's very intimate, like with the piece and also the poet, because you give backstory of what you were going through as an individual in that time.
Yes.
It shows, intellect, how much you read, how much you don't read.
Yeah.
The things that you're interested in, because those always come out in your poetry, no matter what you do.
Yeah.
Your interests, the things that are deep in you, your trauma,
Yeah.
they're revealed.
Yeah.
And sometimes, actually, I had some people on there they were like, wow, I didn't even realize that's where that really came from.
Yeah.
Until they sat and thought about it.
Yeah.
But that's what Between the Lines is all about.
I definitely had that experience. Now, other than being a poet and a host, you're like a model too, right? And you have like your brothers are all models. I don't know. All I know is they all fine as hell. And I saw pictures of all of them with like no shirt on. And I was like, they got a whole team of like these models. All y'all got this nice hair, curly hair. Like I was like feeling that.
Okay, so yes, we model.
All of you.
Yes.
Wow.
My brother told me to stop being fake humble. So yes.
Fake humble?
So yes, we model.
Now how did everybody get involved in it? Was it like, hey, let's all work out and brush our hair?
It's from our parents, because they were in that scene when they were younger.
Oh, nice.
So when we kind of came to be, and hey, it's 12 of us. My parents have 12 kids together.
Stop.
It's 12 of us, 8 boys and 4 girls.
Oh my
right?
God, and they've been
together
people.
since 1645 or something like that. Like hundreds of years. That's what I'm saying. Long time.
1645. You're so disrespectful. I hope your mom sees this.
He old, dad. But but so they were into that. So I guess it was kind of natural for us to kind of get into it. And of course, the father put us in a position where we're decent. That we're pretty good at it. So I don't enjoy it as much as everybody else.
I beg to differ.
No, I really
You look
don't.
like you really enjoy.
No, I gotta fake it.
Okay.
Or the picture's not gonna come out good, right?
Okay. Well, you're really good at it, and
Thank you.
Which is for me, it's weird. I think doing photo shoots I'm always awkward. I never know what do I do with my hands? What do I do with my face?
You don't. You just go. It's by faith. Take pictures by faith, not by sight. You go. You do it.
Oh, see, I'm not on the other side of the camera. See, you talking like a model because you just stand there and it just happens.
And you listen. Sometimes you're like, this feels so stupid, right? But you can't show that on your face, or obviously, the picture's gonna be flop. It's gonna flop.
I'm getting
it's like
model advice from a poet.
Yeah.
I love it.
All the confidence you got, it don't matter what position you're in, it don't matter what you're wearing.
Yeah.
It's like most of these artists. Sometimes they be wearing foolishness.
Yeah.
But their confidence, their following, they don't never show it.
Yeah.
So it's like, wait, is that a nice outfit?
Yeah.
Maybe it is. I don't know.
Yeah,
Right?
that's true. That's true. So I know that you kind of like have an old school mentality,
True.
and we've had a few heated conversations because we
True.
don't agree a lot of times
True.
on certain situations.
Very true.
So, tell me something that's really old school about you that people don't really wouldn't expect from a young man like you yourself.
Well, the things that I find attractive in women,
Okay, like
I find hair wraps beautiful, long dress, conservative women. Like that's what attracts me over everything else. The way I love. I mean, how I want a family. I mean, children. I realized that I want daughters first.
What?
I thought I wanted a son first, but I realized that I want daughters.
you have mad brothers, so you might as well. You want a lot of children like your parents? You want 12?
I want what the father wants, so I'm just like, we'll see how it goes.
I don't know. The father be asking for a bit much sometimes.
Isn't whatever his will is, that's what's gonna be, and I'm just
Okay.
gonna go with it.
All right. Well, are you prepared to give us a little taste of your poetry today?
Of course, that's what I do.
Yes. We're gonna take a quick break and we'll come back. Yonte.
Yonte.
Let me say this right. Yonte the SemiGod will be right back to show us some of his poetry. Please stay tuned.
So this is the story of my journey back to Earth to recite this poem. There I was, sitting with my legs hanging over the edge of our galaxy, staring at the manifestation of infinity. Here, the sun never sets, but it's always night, and the silence is so loud, it's deafening. There she was, walking down the Milky Way shore, splashing in the phosphorescent particles. She was wearing a sun dress. And my double take was so loud it startled her. She looked at me for a moment with a bit of scorn and said, "Your species is as hollow as your moon. But I can feel the spirit of the creator in you. We see a shooting star. We both close our eyes. I make a wish. She begins to cry. I ask what's the black matter. She says, they mourn shooting stars and the darkness they bring. I ask what she meant. She says, in the beginning, the divine creator manifested the cosmos from within himself and said, let there be light. Light there was, and it was good. But in heaven's first rebellion, he divided the light from the darkness, so every fallen angel created a pin-sized black point that equals up to the darkness of space as we see today. I, on the other hand, explain simple things like lullabies and butterflies as galaxies in the distance flutter by. I throw metaphors like meteors and piece together stanzas like stargates. She explains the difference between being an extraterrestrial and just being extraterrestrial. She says our science is as useless as a Fermi's paradox and the phrase space rocks. Her knowledge dwarfs stars. She looks out the window of my spaceship and sees a black hole and whispers, as we travel past the valley of the shadow of death, we shall fear no evil. So we pray. Holding hands, crossing an Einstein-Rosen bridge, we bask in the undisturbed sun rays. I'm wearing Ray-Bans and she's wearing gamma rays. And the Holy Spirit is so heavy it disrupts gravitational fields. We're eating apples while traveling through wormholes. She reaches into the space between time and space and pulls out a chalice and asks if I want to smoke some Aurora Borealis. I decline. She puts it back, pulls out an instrument and starts to strum the light spectrum. She plays a rainbow symphony entitled The Promise. Her body like supernova, almost unbearable to look at. She has this multi-dimensional, ultra-sensual glow. She says she never noticed, but it must be from the diamond rain and golden flake atmosphere of her planet. She says the divine creator made it rain liquid diamond for 40 days and 40 nights and drowned the planet in what it sought after most. So naturally, this resource no longer had value, and value then came from the fruits of the spirit. I then realized it's not physical. Her spirit is so bright, her flesh isn't thick enough to conceal its shine. I fall in love. And I know it doesn't seem like we've been together that long, but time moves a lot slower when you're moving at the speed of light. So I took her back to my neck of the cosmos. But I made the wrong turn at the wrong zodiac sign somewhere, so I had to improvise. So we picnicked on Orion's belt and I proposed with Saturn's ring. She accepted. And we did that one thing that science says creates suns, you know, the Big Bang. And she absorbed my coronal mass ejection to create a universe that revolves around us.
Okay, so anyone that knows me knows that I'm not a big makeup person. So when I have to get all glammed up, I go to La Creme Faces. I can only go to somebody that I can trust with my face. They specialize in glam makeup and even special effects makeup. So you could be turned into the beauty or even the beast. So make sure you follow them on Instagram and make your appointment today at La Creme Faces. And we're back. Thanks for tuning in and sticking around. I brought back both of my guests to have a little bit of a group discussion. We're going to dig into some deep topics, and then we're going to play our game off the top, and you guys can play too, so stay tuned. So what I want to talk to you guys about is, because both of you have accomplished some really great things, especially in the creative community. So, and I'm sure that at some point, those started out as just dreams and ideas.
Yeah.
But a lot of times people don't really follow through with their dreams and ideas. I know I've been in situations where I had a dream and an idea and I felt like everything was against me making that happen and I wanted to walk away. So what do you guys think are some of the reasons why people give up on their dreams?
You want to go first?
You seem like you already got the answer.
Yeah, definitely. Because that's where I'm at right now.
Okay.
First off, a lot of people don't understand what it takes to, like the time it takes, the amount of sacrifice that you have to make, whether that be in time itself, whether it be financially, not doing something else that you like to do to make sure you have the necessary means to accomplish this. Like me, I try to write a poem every day, memorize a poem every day.
What?
Like one a day. Like on my vision board, it says one a day.
Oh, you have a vision board?
Yeah,
I love vision boards.
I wrote it to make sure it's a reminder.
Yeah.
And of course, we forget sometimes.
Yeah.
So that's a reminder. And I know family is a big thing.
Yeah.
If your family isn't supporting you, sometimes that's a large obstacle that a lot of people don't make it over.
Yeah.
Cause I know when I first started putting up videos, like my dad was like, "Yo, it's not good quality. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Don't put it up." But it was making me happy. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Yeah, pops, I feel what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying this. This is my art. This is for me. I'm not doing it for anybody else.
Yeah.
Let me share this, right?
Yeah.
And I know family is a huge deterrent for a lot of people.
Yeah. What about you, Matt? What do you think stops people from moving forward?
The word no. The word no. Like, I think when people have adversity up against them, a lot of people don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
True. I'm definitely like real big on mental. So like with me, if somebody tell me no, it's like, oh, you challenging me, so now I gotta do it. You feel what I'm saying? Like now I'm gonna do it on purpose.
Yeah.
At first it was like, oh, let me do this on an accident and see where I go. But now it's like, it's about inspiring other people that you don't even know that's paying attention to you.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So, and I've been through a lot of things to where it's like, people come up to me and be like, yo, I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, keep doing it. And that right there, that motivates me and fuels me to keep going right there.
So what are some of the things that, you do to avoid yourself from falling into that space where you just want to, like, give it up, even though it seems difficult?
I listen to music. Like, I feel like music inspires me because I can hear the smallest thing. And it's like, oh, that can take me back to a place.
Yeah.
And I feel like, as artists, we all run into some type of writer's block, right?
Sure. Or I do.
And
all
I
the
feel
time.
like, when you run into writer's block, it's because you're not inspired. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? I was just looking at an interview with Pharrell. I think it was Pharrell, and he was just talking about, like, basically along the lines of what I'm saying right now. So I just try to make sure that, I stay inspired so that my pen can keep going and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
and music.
What do you do to like keep yourself out of that? I mean, you write every day. How do you even keep yourself on that?
Okay, so I have, realistically, sometimes I created a poem type named Yonte Pyramid. So, and it's not very big. So it's for me, it's easy to write. So it's just like, I look around, it's like, okay, astronaut helmet. Let's see what I can do with astronaut helmet. So it's all about testing my ability to play with words, and it's not very big, it's 10 lines.
Okay.
Right? So playing on syllables. And so one syllable, two syllable, three syllable. But then the catch is, if you end the sentence, it has to be at the end of the syllables. Like, it has to be at the end of the fifth line of the syllables, And it seems pretty
So you
simple.
have like a whole like science to it.
Yeah. So it's like, 'cause I don't want to just be a poet. I want to be a poetic pioneer.
Okay.
I want when you hear Yonte, it's like, yo, he's done things in the future, which all of us aspire. You want to create a legacy for your children.
Yeah.
In school, you want to be read about, spoken about making an evolutionary jump.
Yeah.
In your craft, So that's kind of where I'm going. And me, I've always been a dreamer, so it was not the fact of me not having the inspiration to dream. It's about staying focused on this dream.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that. But it's like, I realized that this is my gift, and along with me enjoying it, my words could be healing to someone. They could be a 3-minute space where they forgot that the world is going on.
Yeah.
Like, I just took you to space. I just took you to heaven. I just took you into the forest.
Yeah, you definitely took us to space with that piece.
For about 3 minutes. You know what I mean? And just giving that a little bit of time,
Yeah.
So just to piggyback off what he says, hearing other artists perform, like, that's definitely something that inspires me. Like, just hearing him talk right now, like, that's making me want to go do my own board. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Going to an open mic and hearing the other artists and, their styles, their delivery, their cadence, all that type of stuff, like, inspire me. Because it's like, oh, yeah, it's not even about a competition, like, at times, but it's more so about, like, yo, I'm trying to match their energy.
Exactly.
I'm trying to touch the people that they touch.
I love that. How do people respond to you guys when you talk about taking your craft seriously? Do you get support, or do you get people that are like questioning you why?
Honestly, sometimes I get pretty absurd replies to that. You know what I mean? Realistically, think about it. You go to your significant other house. You meet their parents for the first time. They're like, "What do you do?" "I'm a poet." What? Right?
Yeah.
So
you're
it's
like, your man needs to get a real job, girl.
He's a what? And then I get it, because it's like everybody wants somebody that's financially secure, stuff like that. I get it, cool. Which I'm gonna be very soon in my craft, right? In my art, in my dream, being happy and being able to share what I've learned with other people through the ability that God gave me to speak, right? So it's like, it's very simple for me to shake that off.
Shake it off.
But it's not for everybody. So that goes back to the deterrent of the dream.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How do you handle people's responses?
Like, all right, so a lot of people that come up to me, they come up to me like with good raps.
Yeah.
It's like, yo.
Positive.
You're right. It's like it's a positive thing.
That's good.
As far as like anything negative, it's just like I laugh it off. Like,
yeah.
But you gotta
like you don't even see my vision. So,
yeah.
Like, I remember before I had started trap poetry in my event, I had hollered at somebody that's been doing it for like 8 years.
Yeah.
He was like, "Yo, I don't think you're ready."
What?
And
oh my gosh.
That gassed you up.
It gassed me up.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. I was like, okay. So when he had first came to my event, it was sold out. He was like, "Yo, you got something?" And I'm just looking at him like,
yeah. And then look, you ended up also hosting for Busboys and
Right.
Poets, which
Right.
is an amazing opportunity. So yeah, you definitely were ready. He was just hating on you.
That line, what you just said, actually reminded me of my boy Sav B. He said he was in one of his poems. He spoke about people like pulling back from you when they don't see your vision.
Yes.
And then want to catch up over coffee afterwards.
Of course.
Right? And it's like whatever. But it's a few people that has come to me, but it's always been on either they don't like me as a person, which hey, you don't got to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because of the way I carry myself. But like he said, it's usually like on a positive note.
Good. That helps. We need that. Check out my people at Regal Star Apparel for some dope hoodies, t-shirts, sweatsuits, and more. I really love their style. Their designs have this creative yet classic artsy vibe to it. Their clothes is comfortable, affordable, and it's just all around dope. And all our viewers and listeners can get 10% off when they use code JRose10 at checkout. Shop Regal Star Apparel at regalstaronline.com. Follow them on IG at Regal Star Apparel. So you guys ready to play a game?
Let's do it.
All right, it's time for our off the top segment where we play a random improv game. I'm gonna take my little list of cards here, and you guys are gonna pick a game, and depending on the game, we're gonna see how that goes. You guys can play too if you want. Follow us on Instagram at JRose Experience and let us know how you did with the game.
I gotta pick.
Yeah, you pick you closest one.
Okay. Oh, speed dating. Okay, let's do it.
Speed dating, yes. I love that. Okay, so speed dating. I've always wanted to go speed dating. I never tried it before, but I think it would be really fun. So I came up with this game, and let me get my questions ready. And I'm gonna ask you guys some random questions.
Okay.
Okay. And based on your answers, one of you can get a date with me. I mean, if you're available.
Got you.
I don't want to fight nobody now, you know what I'm saying? That's not the type of game we trying to play.
Actually,
So-
that's part of my requirements.
Oh, wow. Wow. I just got my nails done, so I ain't fighting nobody. Okay. Are y'all ready?
Yeah, let's do
I'm
it.
gonna ask you. We're gonna like go back and forth. Okay? I'm
Okay.
gonna start with you because you're closest